Hello and welcome. In this vlog, I will share with you 3 practices that help me shift my mindset to be more mindful, present, and at peace with my daily responsibilities and everyday routines. Over the last year, I slowly began learning how to find joy in the mundane and celebrate the gift that life is, even in the most common of circumstances. While there is beauty in the grind, there is also an unavoidable allurement with being still and slowing down to take in the life you've built around you. I've blocked out each section in the timestamp, so feel free to skip around. And with that being said, please be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. You know what I was thinking about the other day? I went on this amazing vacation with pretty much my whole entire in-law family to Mexico, and it was nothing short of stupendous. Halfway through though, I know this sounds a little odd, but I got homesick. And it really made me kind of stop in my tracks and wonder, why the heck am I homesick in the middle of tropical paradise? And I got to thinking about it, you know? I was missing everything that I worked so hard to create. I've worked so hard to create the life that I currently live, to have the career I have, to have the family I have, to have the friend group that I have established. And I've strived for all of these different aspects of my life, and they did not come instantaneously, and they took a lot of work. I found myself yearning and missing my daily, everyday routines, my day-to-day life, my getting up and running errands and working and going to the booth and selling furniture and doing the social media, talking to my friends, going out to dinner, making dinner, etc., etc. The list goes on. And I missed every single aspect. But when I'm in the moment, I don't think about every aspect. Veronica 10 years ago wouldn't be able to even dream of the life that I get to live now. 10 years ago, my family was going through a really hard time, a very messy divorce, a very messy just upbringing. I didn't even think I was gonna be able to go to college because my family just really couldn't afford to put me through it. That's kind of around the time that I started ideating, you know, I have to start making decisions that are going to lead me to the life that I want to live. And it means thinking outside of the box a little bit. So you might be wondering, what the heck? What does this have to do with your vacation? I wondered, why do I yearn to go back to this routine lifestyle that I live? Why do I find myself missing my everyday activities, my day-to-day? And I realized that you have to step away from your everyday life and conversate with new people, try different foods, see new lands. Literally, I hike through the jungle, and I have never hiked through a jungle setting before, that are just different than your day-to-day experiences that you have at home. Before I went on vacation, I was feeling a little bit in a rut. And what dawned on me was, wow, I'm not stuck in an everyday pattern. I'm not stuck at all. And going and getting to look at my life from the outside in made me realize I choose my experiences every single day. I choose the life that I live. I create these habits and routines that I have as a choice, and I am the one who is in control of changing them if I should want to. That is what I'm coming back home to. I'm coming back home to what I've created. So this kind of sent me down a different rabbit hole of, why are we so intrigued with watching people's everyday routines? I personally love watching Week in My Lives. I love watching vlogs. I love watching just people sit and get ready in the mornings and chat with me. Why? That's kind of weird when I think about it. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is in real life, but you know what? I love it. I love it, and I feel like I do know them. And it got me to thinking, why are we so fascinated with this? My everyday is very unique to me. It is my person choosing this life that I live, and it's mine. It's not Billy Bo Bob's down the street. It's not Sally 2 doors down. What I do every day is so unique to me, even though in my perspective, it looks so mundane and honestly, sometimes kind of boring. And I think that's why we're so interested in seeing other people's lives, because their life is so unique to them. It's abundantly clear that it is so different than mine, yet I still pick up on parallels and I still relate in ways that I had never anticipated when I started watching YouTube. When I first started watching YouTube, I would watch Michelle Reed, and she was the first YouTuber I ever watched, and this was probably around 4 to 5 years ago. I watched my first vlog and it was hers, and it was so awesome. It made me realize, oh my gosh, people do this? This is so much fun. I love just seeing this girl live her life. And we're so interested in watching these reset routines and daily vlogs, etc., because we're so interested in seeing what somebody else thinks is mundane, what somebody else thinks is their normal. We want to know what their idea of normal is, of their day-to-day everyday habits, their routines, what they're up to, what their house looks like, what they put in their coffee, what they put in their salad. We want to know what weight they lift in the gym. We want to know who they've been chatting with and where they go for dinner that evening. And we just want to know because we want to know what their normal looks like. And the way that can kind of get harmful is that we can compare it against ours. And we could say, wow, I don't have what they have. I'm not gonna drone on and on about this point, but I just want to say what you have, nobody else has. Literally nobody else in the world. Whatever your circumstances are, nobody else has this life that you are living. Regardless of what your situation is, that is so profoundly unique and awesome and beyond how words can ever describe it. And I have played the comparison game before. I think it's a very human characteristic to do that. And I just want to remind you that your life is so unique to you, and it is so awesome that it is. And that is just such a gift. And what I find so fundamental to finding joy in your own personal unique circumstances is finding opportunities for gratitude. Overused term, and I also think that some of the practices that I've seen are just so let's talk about what I mean. The number one way that I practice gratitude is doing the dishes. It's attempting to fold and put away the laundry. It's changing the sheets. It is vacuuming the couch and the carpet when popcorn crumbs get into it when you and Luke have a big movie blowout marathon. It's taking care of my space. Now this looks completely different than sitting down and writing a few things I'm grateful for and just thinking about it for a second and then moving on with the rest of my day and not really practicing much that shows gratitude. And recently I was talking to my aunt-in-law, and she took the role, did the Lord's work, and took the role of doing the dishes at family Christmas. And I asked her, I'm like, how do you do this? No one assigned you this, you volunteered. And she said, ever since being single again, I realized that I do these things to not only show myself that I am grateful and I love my space and I want to care for it, but it allows me to show others that I care for them through serving them in this way, through doing the dishes and taking this off their plate, literally. And that just really stuck with me. And I realized that even if you don't have somebody else to do it for, doing it for yourself is just as, if not even more impactful. So personally, I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to serve myself by doing the dishes after breakfast. And it just shows me different ways that I can just appreciate my surroundings and the life that I've created within these walls. Another way that I have practiced gratitude is getting my thoughts on paper. So, what I mean by this is I write out my entire week. This is revolutionary for me because I am disorganized. I'm a disorganized mess unless I sit down and organize myself. The word that I would use to describe my brain before I sit down and do some organization with lists and writing my calendar out, etc., is scattered. Scattered AF. I feel like I'm running back and forth in my skull a million times and I just have no idea what is going on. So, another way that I practice grounding and gratitude is at the beginning of every week I sit down and I do this. It takes about 10 minutes and I think about what are my biggest things that I have to do this week? Like what's on my mind the second that I think that, what comes to mind? And I write all those goals down. And then I write out my whole entire calendar. So do I have a doctor's appointment? Do I have an appointment with a customer? Do I have to go to the booth and set some stuff up? Do I have to do blah, 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 blah. There's so many things to do. I go even as deep as the workout class and what time I want to start dinner, etc. I write it all down. That way I can visually see this is what my week is going to look like. And if you're not a writer girly or guy, you can definitely just do this on Google Calendar or some kind of digital format that allows you to just type and quickly do it. I let myself brain dump. And after I brain dump, I go onto my little Trello board. I love Trello. You could use Notion. You could even use a piece of paper. It doesn't matter. I have 4 to 5 different to-do lists that I manage at once. I have my personal stuff. So this is anything from dropping off returns, going to appointments, etc., whatever that may be for my personal life. It gets down even to calling my grandma, literally. So I have my personal items. I have Animo, that's my business. So I have photographing, I have website upkeep, I have blog writing, I have social media, I have going to the booth and setting stuff up and making sure I manage my sales and I file my taxes and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I have all that written down in order, and then I can drag the cards in order of priority. Then I have my YouTube, and then I have my social media work, and then I think that's all I have right now. Oh yeah, and then I have an ongoing long-term projects for Animo. So I like to keep the two lists distinct because when I have everything all cluttered up there of like more of a long-term project meshing in with something I need to do immediately, it kind of clutters my mind. So after I do my overarching goals and I set up my to-do list and then I go in and prioritize, I'm set. I'm set and I feel like I can take on the world because I don't have to just pull something out of my head and pray that it's the right one, because sometimes when I do that, it doesn't go well and I do the wrong thing and I forget to do something that I absolutely had to do that day. That's happened to me quite a few times. And let me tell you, that really stung when I worked 9 to 5. That really stung. That really stung to get reprimanded because that happened to me. And alongside managing my business and social media and all of this stuff, I'm managing spheres of relationships in my life. I'm managing a fairly new marriage. So Luke and I got married 2.5 years ago. I'm managing that. And it's a joy to manage, but it takes work. I'm also managing new friendships. So I'm keeping up with friends that I just made in the area. I'm engaging with them, I'm hanging out with them, I'm keeping up with them, I'm showing them that I care. And if you have experienced making adult friendships, it is hard and it takes effort and it takes time, and it's not always something that you want to engage with or do. And then it's also engaging with my long distance friends that are more college friends. So it's taking the time to schedule phone calls. It's taking the time to fly out and see them where they live for a whole weekend. It's also managing the relationships with my family. So my family does not live close to me. They live in Florida, and it is an effort to call them, to see them, to engage with them. And it's something that I'm so happy to do, but it still is an effort, and I have to remember and hold myself accountable to be a good person in that relationship that serves others well. So, summary. I write everything out and I make all that gibberish turn into actionable items that when I look at that list, I'm not like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what do I have to do? It's call grandma. It's put the lamps on the website. It's create that social media post and here's an idea for the caption. It's more of an action item that I can just do. But I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't take the time to sit down and plan it out. So this is a practice of gratitude because I get to sit down and organize myself mentally. And I get to operate out of a more organized state that is a more peaceful state of mind than I was used to before I had this method. This method might look completely different to you. Also, I want to pay mind that not every single day is rainbows and butterflies, and sometimes I'm reactive all day long. And typically, I can sort myself into 2 people. Reactive Vero, proactive Vero. Reactive Vero is stressed, anxious, constantly running around, not knowing what to do next, but in the middle of doing something, and just a place of fear. fear that I have no idea what the F I'm doing and what I need to do next, and just feeling like I have dropped the ball but I can't drop it, so I'm barely scooting it along. That's not a good kind of place to be, personally. And when I'm in that reactive mode, naturally, life just happens sometimes, and you cannot control what you get to choose every single day. You can only choose how you react to it. And you know what? That kind of goes against what I was saying earlier, but to clarify, what I'm trying to emphasize here is we have this life that we have, and things get thrown our way, and it is up to us to choose how we react to these things, and to be in a state of mind that allows us to react in a way that will serve us well. And when I am already reactive, if something happens, or if someone even calls me, I lose my freaking mind. But if I am in a state of proactivity, of organization, of calmness, when that random curveball comes my way, which usually happens daily, I'm not as panicky. I'm not as, oh gosh, I can't do that, or oh gosh, why are you asking me to help you, or why, I can't do that, I don't have the time for that, I just don't, I have too much on my plate. I don't feel like that, because I already have so much clarity that this thing that I have to deal with is not that dark and ominous. It is more so, okay, I know what I can adjust, and I will get this done, and I will be okay. And that personally has worked really well for me. And there are still days where I am operating out of pure reaction, and I can physically feel the dichotomy between those days and the days where I am more proactive. All right, and the third way that I practice gratitude and grounding, etc., is, it sounds kind of funky because it's so simple. Look around you, and really look around you. It doesn't matter if you're a new mama and you're wiping your baby's ass and you just got blown up on with poop. Take a second to really look. Physically pause, and if you can't physically pause in whatever you're doing, maybe find a different time, or just look around and notice. Notice what is going on around you and dissect it. Dissect your surroundings. Dissect what mental state you're in. Dissect it and look at it as if you are a third party, as if you are somebody else from the outside looking in. Typically this happens when I'm in the middle of laundry or if I'm in the middle of cooking. I will stop, and right now I'm gonna do it with you guys. I am looking around my room. Never in a bajillion million years would I have ever thought that I would live in a room so cozy, so inviting, so warm, and so beautiful, ever. Because growing up, my room was comprised of Goodwill and stuff that we found on the side of the road that people were throwing away. And ultimately, it has put me in the position now to have this depth of gratitude that I have. And typically, the way that my mind works is this will then trigger a set of realizations that on surface level, if I'm just looking around a room and not really profoundly thinking about it, I totally miss. I never thought that I would find a husband that was so supportive and so loving and so generous and such a leader in our partnership. I never thought I would have a family-in-law as awesome as I have. Like, I have 3 new sisters and a new brother that I'm obsessed with. We love hanging out with one another. We literally all live 10 minutes from one another. It's kind of crazy. I never thought my parents would ever get along after getting separated and divorced. I never thought that. And we just spent Thanksgiving together, and it was so much fun. And I never thought my sister and I would be best friends. And I never thought I'd be obsessed with her. I literally blow her up and leave her voicemails all the time. Isabella, if you're watching this, then you know what? You probably haven't responded back to me. But I never thought I would have this abundance of love in my life, ever. And all those emotions just kind of got triggered from noticing the time and space that I'm currently in right now. I know it sounds kind of superficial to be like, oh, look at this bed. It's so beautiful, wow. But what I mean by this is it goes deeper once you allow your mind to kind of trail into the why. Like, how did I achieve these circumstances? who surrounds me? How can I continue to create an environment that expresses this circular feeling of hard work and gratitude that I currently live in? For example, I'm grateful for this. I will find rest in this. Like, I literally am gonna go to bed right there tonight. The gratitude, rest will lead me to be able to work from that rest. And then once I've worked really hard to achieve whatever it may be, I will find gratitude in that, and then I will be able to rest within that gratitude, and then blah, blah, blah. Whatever it may be. So those are my 3 exercises. I hope that they helped you, that they either gave you some new things to try or were a catalyst to something else that is better served towards you and your unique life. And I just really hope that this helps you, especially at the top of the year of 2024. I am just so abundantly thankful for you guys. Seriously, my subscribers, the community that we've built is amazing. Even though I've taken a little bit of a break from YouTube, I've been chatting with you guys on like Instagram and stuff, and it's just so great to have a community like this to just be a part of. And I'm just thankful that you guys have chosen to allow me into your daily routines and your daily life and watch these videos and listen to me talk. I hope that this served you well. That's why I made this. I made this to serve somebody, and I hope that somebody out there that's watching this took something good away from this video, because that's why I do this, because I love it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get that pump on, you know. What did I do yesterday? I did glutes and hams yesterday. So I think today is back and buys. My mom's gonna hate that. My buys are freaking huge. I think they're huge. They're really big when I get a pump on. But yeah, I'm gonna do some back and buys and just enjoy the rest of my day. And then I have to go by the booth and measure some stuff for the website. But y'all, thank you so much for watching again. If you made it this far, truly, you're a G. If you made it this far, I'm impressed. I'm an impressed girl by you, and I'm grateful for you. But I will see you guys next time in the next video. Next video is gonna be just a week in my life. I can't wait. I can't wait to do a week in my life with you guys. But if you want to see this kind of lifestyle content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, definitely leave a comment below. Bye, friends.